are jumping with it. Oh, and the cotton is growing high. You dance so easy, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh,
Dre, Big H y Tipo C.
mama. Oh, easy, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, easy, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama.
Yo, my peoples, what's up, baby? We back. Another week. It's your boys. Silverback Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Big H. I got my brother Dre.
Hello. I didn't know what to say.
There you go.
I know we're back in the jungle though.
Back at it.
Back in the Congo. Can I tell you something?
Please talk, bro.
I text Triple C the other day.
Okay, what happened?
I said, what is the square footage? Because he calls the studio Congo, right?
Okay,
That's
love
where
it.
the gorillas are.
Uh-huh.
I said, what is the
In the
square-
Congo.
Yeah. I said, what's the square footage of Congo? You know what this
What
you know what this man sends me?
What is that?
The actual square footage of the actual Congo.
My man. I love
said,
it.
what
Sorry,
the
bro. I was in the middle of a meeting
I
too.
was going to say, because you wouldn't have got it from me.
I was in the middle of a meeting too. So then like,
I said, Triple C, I'm talking about your house, man. Not the actual joint.
The studio, bro.
Yeah, the studio.
Right.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's been, that just goes to show, like, it's a blessing, man. It's been phenomenal.
Triple C on this shit.
He's on his shit.
Always.
Yeah.
World, what's up? It's your boys, your favorite boys in blue. We back. Episode 92. How about that? 92.
Yeah, we working.
We cooking. First and foremost, Triple C.
yo,
How you doing, bro?
maintaining and chilling, bro.
My
How
man.
you feeling over there?
As always.
Always, bro.
I like it.
Word.
Watch out for that Triple C t-shirt coming out soon.
Yeah. Don't forget the website, www.silverbackchronicles.com. Get your latest merch. Our phenomenal boutique we have. Polo shirts, t-shirts, fitteds. We got some new fitteds coming out too, by the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just working hard, my peoples.
We just giving y'all what y'all want.
That's it.
Y'all can stay fly out there.
Stay fly, stay sexy, you know, and follow in our footsteps. But let's keep it going. Berman and Darby is the law firm. BermanDarby.com. Listen, you get hurt, injured at work, or even personal injury, call my boy Charlie Schultz. He'll take care of you. He can be reached at 410-769-5400. That's 410-769-5400.
He'll be at the districts real soon.
Absolutely.
You know, come shake everybody's hand. He's down to meet you guys.
Charlie's not playing.
He loves us.
Shout out to the world. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here to stay. We're here to make friends. And we're here to love, baby.
That's it.
All day, every day.
Of course, shout out to Stopbox. Shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to everybody just grinding.
And Stopbox, don't forget about the discount code. Get you 20%. All caps, Silverback Podcast. All caps, Silverback Podcast.
That's it.
Booyah.
Now, the man of the hour.
The man of the hour. With no further ado, ladies and gents. Go ahead, Dre. Introduce.
I've known this guy for quite a long time. A couple of buddy of mines that they lift weights, you know, Henry, Shelley. They introduced me to this guy a long time ago. He had a store in the county, and now he's in the city. And his name, what can I call you? Should I just regular James?
Regular James.
Regular James. He's just a regular old guy, but man, this guy, whatever you need as far as like your body type, your goals. You want to lose weight? You want to gain muscle? You want to come see my man James at Total Athlete Nutrition. And he sat here with us. Yo, your intros are way better. I'm sorry.
Well, you seem like you wanted to start off, so I'll let you do it.
No.
Introduce your guy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he's my guy.
That's what we do.
Give him the official intro.
You already did.
My buddy James is in here.
James is in the building.
I'm just excited to have him in.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
So, James, where you from? Born and raised, bro?
I'm a beach kid, man. I was born down in like the Rehoboth Beach area, Delaware.
Okay.
State Delaware.
Nice.
Little town right outside the beach, but spent all my time at the beach. Was there until 95 when I moved to Northern Delaware for college. There until 2017 with a few little excursions here and there. But then 2017, moved down here, moved to the county, moved to Anne Arundel County, moved back to the county, moved to the city. So I'm pretty Maryland right now, actually. Just sold my house in Delaware. So I'm here now. I'm here setting up roots.
Not a bad state.
No, loving it.
Not a bad state.
What made you leave Delaware? Why Maryland?
Have you ever been to Delaware?
I've been there to what's the name of that beach?
Dewey?
No, I wasn't in
Rehoboth?
Delaware. I'm sorry, no. I was talking about Ocean City. I'm bugging.
If you've been to Delaware, you know why I left.
I went to Delaware.
Delaware's great. I have nothing against Delaware. I joke about it all the time, but it's a small state. But
Right.
I don't know, kind of maybe a little wanderlust. Didn't really. I had just come around pretty much a fork in the road is where I was going with my career, and I had enrolled back in school for the third time, and just kind of came to a point where I realized that program was never going to get me where I needed to be, and I wouldn't be able to get everything out of it. It was really, really competitive, and there was a lot of odds stacked against me. So I wasn't going to, and I don't think I would have liked the work. And I was already now almost 40. I started over so many times. I can't start over again. I can't go back to school and spend a couple of years, and I got to grow up.
Gotcha.
But I had no idea what to do. I wasn't going to go back to school. I just lost my job after stupidly doing a bodybuilding competition. I think I was left with about $600 in my bank account, and basically was told, start training up your replacement. We're pushing you out. And I was like, okay,
wow.
What do I do now? Like, what do I do? And it was definitely one of those, kind of one of those life closes the door, God opens a window kind of thing. Literally an hour later, after I turned in my letter of resignation, the original owner of Total Athlete Nutrition called me up, and I had just recently seen him, and he's like, oh, hey, I forgot to tell you, when we talked the other day, I pushed out I bought out my former partner for the Rosedale store. Any interest? Because we had been talking for a while, lightheartedly talking about partnering up with something, but he just happened to write it literally an hour later, calls me up. Hey, any interest in buying the Rosedale store? And I think I waited about maybe like an eighth of a second before I was like, yes,
Right.
I'll figure out how to make it happen. But yes, I need this. Like, I always liked the shop. I was a customer anyway, respected how they did the business and how they were honest with customers and didn't like just try to milk customers dry. So I was like, yeah, this is something I could get on board with. This is in line with how I feel business should be done and how customer relations should be, and building trust instead of building purely bank accounts. So the opportunity came around. I was able to buy in for low because it was a new store, and it was exciting. It allowed me to get out of Delaware to a much bigger state with more going on. And, just kind of the cliche as it is, the rest is history.
That's awesome. So the vitamin thing just came out of nowhere, huh? I mean, I know you've always been around it your life through training and stuff like that.
Not always though. I really didn't get into this until maybe about 2010, 2011. I was really, really overweight most of my life. And that definitely, it did everything. It killed my self-esteem and gave me, just poor self-image and a lot of body image issues and stuff. And kind of felt like I missed out on a lot of my life. But I didn't get into it till late. I mean, I was almost 36, 37 maybe when I really started finally saying I have to do something.
What was the turning point for you?
There were several that I just my life needed an overhaul, and it still does. I'm still a work in progress, very much progress.
Oh, we all are.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We all are.
But it was kind of like, it hit me one night, almost like an epiphany, like as kind of TV show as that sounds. It really was just this bolt of lightning. I spent so much time being like pointing my finger at everybody else. Like, well, how are these guys out that, you know, they don't exercise. They're out every night. They drink like 10 beers and they live on cheesesteaks and pizza and all the stuff, you know, I like. And I didn't drink at this time. I had stopped drinking. And I'm like, well, so I'm kind of eating the same stuff, but, you know, they're pounding down all this beer and, you know, heavy calorie liquor and stuff all the time. And, you know, like, why am I fat and they're not, you know, like, and finally it just hit me one night out of the blue where it just went, who cares? You know, who cares if they found a magic lamp? Who cares if they sold their soul or did whatever? Like, it doesn't change it for me. Like, maybe they found a secret, but I haven't found it. I haven't found the lamp. I haven't found the crossroad deal yet. So I had to really do that. Every finger pointing at that I point at somebody, there's 3 pointing back at me. And I had to shift the focus from that one to those 3. And everything just became obvious. Like, you're fat because you're lazy. Me. I'm not calling anybody else that, but I was overweight because I didn't do anything. I ate one meal a day, but I would eat it in 15 minutes and take down like a large pizza and like a dozen wings, some kind of dessert, and a 2 liter of soda. 20 minutes flat, be done, and then right to bed. But he's just like, by the time when I realized all of the times I said I wasn't going to be fat anymore, I was going to do something about it. High school graduation came and went. For college graduation, round the first one, came and went. The second one came and went and said, okay, well, I'm not going to be 25 and still fat. Well, 25 came and went, 30 came and went, 35 came and went. And finally it just hit me one night where it's like, you know, whatever it is, find out. And I actually went over to my doctor. My primary care doctor is also a bariatric doctor. And I just said, look, here's my schedule. I work crazy, dumb hours. This is what I weigh. And what do I need to do? I'm sick of being self-conscious and worried that like I'm going to be revealing a big secret that the world doesn't know, that I'm fat. Everybody knew it, you know, 44-inch waist and, you know, bigger boobs than my mom. So like, yeah, there's something needs to be done. But if I didn't if I didn't mention it, of course, then the world wouldn't know, and the world's going to think I'm this like little thin dude. But the only person who was fooling was me, and it wasn't even fooling me that well. But I just started asking questions, and I found a 24-hour gym. They were rare at that time. I would go to bed, and I would set an alarm for about 11:30 or midnight. And I would get up and I would go to this little gym. It was out in the middle of nowhere. Like, this little shopping center does no business because it's tucked away on a back
here
road.
in Maryland, right?
No, it was in North Delaware.
Okay.
It was a chain place, but it was even in the corner of the shopping center. Like, you couldn't even see this place. So I was like, perfect. Then you won't see me in there. And I would go in there and trudge away on the treadmill, and everything would be shaking and jiggling, but that way no one could see me. And I just kept going. And my doctor said, you can either eat 1,500 calories a day or all the meat you want and nothing else. And both turned out to be horrible advice, but they got me started. And I said, all right, I'm going to do all the above. And I started running, and I started eating all meat. And then I started eating only 1,500 calories of all meat. And I screwed myself up so many different ways. My hormones were thrown off. I was starving myself. I had all this loose skin because I was just eating away muscle tissue, because I was eating only about 1,000 calories a day. And I think I was doing something stupid like 7 miles of running a day by the time I got help again to correct that. But I was just obsessed, and I was so fixated that I couldn't stop. But it was the making of the mistakes that got me to learn about proper nutrition and proper supplements and proper workouts, because some of the people I then said, look, okay, I've gotten down this far, but how come I still don't look, like you or something? And one guy who became my business partner later on down the road, and then bought him out, it helped me out with a bunch of stuff. He referred me to a guy who later became an ongoing coach of mine who helped me with meal planning and later on even contest preparation for two competitions. And I worked with a couple other coaches and just kind of learned as I went and just ask questions. I'd be total Socratic method with it. Don't know anything, so I'm going to ask everything, and pieced it together. And there's a lot of knowledge through mistakes and learning from them. So I'm not a diet guru or anything by any means, but I've definitely learned a lot. And then went back to school for dietetics because that was the program that I decided it was going to put me still in a path that I didn't really like, but it gave me more base knowledge. And then basically here I am now. And it's kind of been a crazy trip. It's been a lot of learning, a lot of trial, a lot of errors, a lot of stress. But I think now after about 4 or 5 years, I'm finally starting to find a little bit of a groove and able to start putting some better balance in my life. But it's been, I threw myself into it, like full on, both feet first, jumped into the pool. And it was great. It got results, but you got to live in balance too. And that's something I've always struggled with. It was always either total, avoidance of everything or total indulgence of everything. And even the healthy stuff I started getting obsessive with. And, I caused a lot of pain with that too. People thought I was starving myself and all this stuff, but I just was going things wrong. And so now luckily I've got some good connects and met a lot of good people in the industry, learned a lot, picked their brains, and I'm like a geek about it now. I really love it. So when I've got downtime, I'm reading up on third-party, non-biased researched websites on different ingredients and stuff.
Nice.
And that's like, in between, watching cartoons and reading comic books, I'm reading nerd stuff, but I love it. It's kind of just become really interesting to me.
It's a part of your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
While you're here, like, we have to debunk a lot of like myths. Like,
Absolutely.
a lot of people think, salt is bad for you. Or like, if I do this, I'm gonna have loose skin. If I do that, I'm gonna be strong, but I'm still gonna be fat. Like, please educate us with that. For example, something you mentioned, right? Like, if you're running 7 miles, but you're not lifting, right? Like, what would that just do to your body? Or like this, would you say about the meat?
Yeah, going like a no carb, all
right,
paleo or something. I guess the new one is they call it like the carnivore diet.
Yeah, like now everything's like you got to eat this way, or this is keto, this is carnivore, or vegan,
and they work. They'll get you results, but you can't maintain it. There's no dieting is only going to teach you how to diet. So if we start dieting, if we get problematic with our weight or something, we start dieting. Well, we now know 2 things. We know our old patterns that got us to the point where we needed a diet, and then we know how to diet. Well, what happens when we reach the goal weight? We can't stay on the diet because we're going to keep losing weight and we don't have any more to lose, or we go back to our old way and we put all the weight back on. And that's when people start going, oh, it doesn't work. You end up putting it all back on. No, you didn't. It worked the way it's supposed to work. It's just you don't know how to. There's no way to maintain it. Yeah, you can only lose so much of anything,
right?
And that's a big problem that people do is they go, well, what's a good diet? And I say, changing lifestyle stuff. Start simple. Like just make it simple. Start off. Get rid of any beverage that has calories in it. It's not going to fill you up. It's not going to give you really any nutrients. I mean, a protein shake is different. I consider that food, but just drinking soda, energy drinks that, even some people, I'll tell them, look, hey man, we're just looking at making some lifestyle adjustments right now. So switch to diet. It's not healthy, but it's at least the calories are there and we can start breaking some patterns and establishing some new, at least that thought pattern of, okay, I need to find alternatives for the things I like. That's the maintainable stuff. That's the stuff that you can just set up and it becomes effortless. You're just living a new way of life that's supportive of it. But Yeah, the big ones. There's so many big myths out there, like salt is bad for us, salt is a killer. Well, again, everything in moderation. A Tylenol can kill us if we take too much of it, but it can really help us in the right amount. Our bodies run on salt. We run on salt is an electrolyte. Sodium's an electrolyte. So all cellular activity, activation and deactivation in the body is coming from potassium and sodium interactions. So we need it. And it's, if you ever been to, say, like Six Flags on a hot day in the summer and it's really hot and all the heat's bouncing up off the asphalt, you're sweating and you're walking around all day. Water isn't, you're still going to overheat with water. You need those electrolytes in you. So salt, there's no way to not get salt in your diet. It's in everything. It's in plants. It's in animals. It's just, we got to watch how much we use on our own in addition to it, and, get lower sodium, but like the Himalayan salt is better alternative. It's lower sodium, but you still get that good salty taste to it. And it's a little more natural. So things like that. But saying fats get a bad rap too. They always say you eat fat, you get fat. No, like you want to know what a lifestyle is like where you don't eat any fat in your diet. I can tell you it's horrible. You have, your hormones are out of whack. You're not absorbing vitamins A, E, D, and K. It really causes a lot of damage. Your joints feel dry and it's tough.
What's another healthy fat besides avocado? Like
avocado is a great one. Obviously salmon, the fats in salmon are really good. The omega-3s, MCTs.
So salmon is a fat and a protein?
Well, it's the salmon flesh is the protein. The fat's in its fat because it's a cold water fish. So it has fat to it to insulate it. And that fat's the good fat compared to something like steak, the fat in steak. Even that's not horrible, but the way steak, so much beef is prepared, that the naturally occurring fat is better for you than the fat that they've intentionally put on that animal through food it wouldn't normally eat if it was a wild cow. I don't even know if we have wild cows, but if cows were wild, it wouldn't be eating the stuff that farmers give it. Same thing with tilapia. I love tilapia, but it's become a farm raised animal only. And its diet is so changed by the farm raising of the pellet food and pig waste and stuff they feed it. So it has changed the makeup of this fish. This fish now by nature its nutrient profile has completely changed and it's toxic now.
It's from the hood now.
Yeah. It's like Frankenfish now, man.
Frankenfish.
Yeah.
Frankenfish.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, like good fats. Avocado is always good fats. Seeds are good, like nuts and seeds, but every time you have omega-3 fats, and that's the big thing the big fats that everybody knows are healthy. We get them from salmon. We get them from, a couple different sources, all the cold water fish and everything, flax seeds and stuff like that. I can't tote about how great salmon is. I encourage people to get like at least one salmon meal a week to help.
You think they're going to change the chemistry of the salmon?
If you can
get the tilapia because it's in such high demand
to a degree, but not to the level of tilapia. But farm raised salmon, you can see a big difference in farm raised versus wild. Unfortunately, farm raised looks prettier, especially in like sushi, because it's very light orange with these beautiful white tiger striping of the fats through it. But that's artificial. Wild caught salmon is like orange, no fat line through it. Tastes different too. So it's a little bad, but it's not to the level of tilapia. It's one of the things best if you can get wild, but it's not 100% necessary. But nuts and seeds are anything that has omega-3s has omega-3, 6, and 9. And they're all in a ratio, but you want 3 to be the highest. Well, nuts and seeds are high they have omega-3s and they get advertised a lot as like almonds, the healthy snack and all this stuff. Eat more nuts and seeds. Paleo diets made it real, and CrossFit made nuts and seed consumption really popular. Nuts they do have omega-3s, but they're really high in omega-6. And omega-6 we can't avoid it, but if it's in a higher ratio than 3, the omega-3s naturally reduce inflammation. Omega-6 can promote inflammation. So the best way to tell the difference is even if to debunk, is this a good, healthy fat or not? A nut or a seed is, I mean, it's not bad for you by any means. It's a good alternative. You know, you want something crunchy, yeah, eat some nuts, but
Damn.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, carry on.
that was one of those, it's like rolling off my tongue. And I'm like, just stop talking right now.
It's all good. I know you felt it though. Right, I know you felt it.
Anytime you're throwing nuts in your mouth, you feel it. But the best way to tell is if it's something that is naturally meant to sit and hold its constitution or its makeup stable for long periods of time. And a seed or a nut, I mean, they're meant to do that. They're meant to stay for however long they need until they finally can be planted and grow. That's a sign that it's high in omega-6 because omega-6 is very stable, whereas omega-3 is very perishable. So we get that from green things. Olive oil is rich in omega-3s, living things, salmon, anything that's highly perishable is going to be higher in omega-3s than 6. So that's kind of like a good rule of thumb to determine
That's awesome.
amongst the healthy fats, which way is healthier, because peanut butter is not just a kid's thing. It can be a good source of fats, but it is going to be higher it should always be regarded. Nut butters always get put in people's diet plans. And they're great. I love peanut butter.
Especially in my shake.
Yeah.
Or especially at like 1 a.m. when you're a little drunk.
Yeah. With, you know what it's best on? A spoon, like we sell peanut butter and almond butter in the shop, and
you do.
It's amazing. Shout out to Nuts and More.
Damn.
That's actually the brand.
That's the brand. Yo,
That's actually the brand.
they got like the what is it, what's that cake?
Oh, they got birthday cake flavored peanut butter,
Oh my God.
oatmeal, cinnamon, raisin.
You know the paleo bars are really good though.
Some of them are
They're
really good. Fat is flavor, man.
Right.
Like, I love a lot of the
Absolutely.
paleo and the carb free cookies, like the Fat Bomb.
Because if you go to Costco's, they sell the big ass paleo bars. It's huge.
Yeah.
A huge case of them. But they're really good though.
They do.
Yeah, they're tasty because, I mean, flavor is going to come from one of two sources. It's going to come from sugar or it's going to come from fat.
Right.
So that's another big thing. All these reduced fat products sounds great. And reducing fat will drastically drop the calories. A gram of fat is over twice the amount of calories of a gram of protein or a gram of carbs. So fats are healthy. We need them, but you can go over your calorie limit easily with fats too. And I can't control myself with peanut butter. So I just make sure if I'm going to have peanut butter, it's going to be on a cheat day where I can have as much as I want kind of thing. And otherwise I can't control myself with it. But nut butter should always be considered as a fat source in your diet, not a protein source. But then again, we also, like I said, got to keep in mind, it's going to be higher in omega-6s than 3. So it's not the best, but if we can get it from, cooking with more olive oil and stuff like that, perfect.
Got it. That's a good tip.
In
That's
Baltimore,
amazing.
we eat lake trout. I still don't know what kind of fish it is, but what type of diet plan would that?
That's even fine. Trout, bass, any of those fish any fish really is.
So lake trout is a real fish?
Yeah.
I thought it was man-made. I thought it was Baltimore made.
It might be.
The seafood expert on the couch is giving us thumbs up that it's a good fish.
So we got it.
It's amazing though. It's a whitey.
Oh, see? I know about whiting.
Yeah, lake trout. I had that when I came from my college pro day at Towson, and my boy Rashid put me onto it. It was so goddamn good though. It was fried.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Right.
Like any fish is going to be good. At the end of the day, any fish is good. I don't think there's any fish that,
Even if it's fried?
but I was going to say how you prepare it is going to be key because it's not like land animal rankings where it's like, beef is always going to be a higher fatty protein. Even the leanest beef is going to be fattier than like a, chicken or something, but there's really no bad fish. So, but there are unhealthy methods of preparing it. And deep frying and all this stuff. It tastes good though. Again,
Shout out to Sonny's.
shout out to fat and fried food.
My man.
I mean, let's live in balance.
Does this happen to you? Like my kids, they'll get French fries, and I have one French fry. After that, I'm just like, let me get another one. Let me get another one. Let me get another one.
Gorging.
Nowadays, I can just do one fry of white potato fries. I love the idea, and they smell so good. And there's only certain ones that I'll eat a bunch of them, but like white potato now, I just haven't had it in so long. And I'm horrible on diet plans. I stayed maybe 70% at best on them. So I'm not gonna say I'm like the king of I do what's on the paper and get results. No, I take liberties, but it's an interesting. I don't know. I love it. I love fried stuff, and I love the thought of white potato. But once I finally have it, it's like kind of lost its luster a little bit for me. But sweet potato fries,
amazing.
I'll eat mine, yours, hers, and everybody else's in here. Like, I'll go back. I should never have bought an air fryer, but I love my air fryer.
That's what I was about to ask you about. Is there a big difference? Because I know people said a lot of people that start to work out now say air fryers are amazing. What do you think about air fryers? And if you're on a diet, does it help? Is it better if you do not need that fried food taste, but if you want something?
Absolutely. Again, it's going to come down to what the food is and like how it's coated. But the cooking method in general it's really, they just repackaged convection oven cooking. Forced air, heated air, cooking it faster. But so that does, at the very least, it's going to speed up the cooking time, and you can get a crispier texture. But if it's like frozen stuff that normally you would either deep fry at home or bake in the oven, it's already going to have some kind of coating on it that's going to get crispy in the oven or in the deep fryer. So that part could be kind of unhealthy to the food that the air fryer would enhance and really get crispy like a fryer. But that's not the air fryer being unhealthy. It's the food, that choice of food, really. Gotcha. But it's a great invention. If anything, it's just a great time saver. Yeah. I mean, it speeds up things so much. I love it. I think I have 3 air fryers in my kitchen at all time. 4 now. I forgot I bought their indoor grill, and it's an air fryer too.
You know what's amazing, and it takes a lot for a person to speak about themselves. And I appreciate you because you're a walking testament that a lot of people are afraid to speak about. Weight gain, and mentally it affects people a lot that they don't like to talk about.
Yeah. It's tough. I think nowadays in society, I think we're in a position where people are more comfortable with themselves and able to talk about it more. They're loving themselves more, which I think is great. As like you said, as someone that I've struggled with mental health stuff all my life, like thank goodness nothing serious, but depression, absolutely, low self-esteem, and it's like social anxiety and stuff like that. So, and I have to think it was pretty much attributed to my weight, and the weight being on me in formidable years in my life, where I would have learned had I maybe been a little more presented myself out in public a little bit more, I maybe would have fell in with more people and had more experiences and exposure. But I'm 44. I grew up in times when bullying was just part of life. We didn't take action about it. You just took different hallway or something. But
have you been bullied?
Yeah, luckily not really physically, but
just people, being very immature, funny,
talking shit. Elementary school and middle school. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple kids, and I think they had their own issues. They were the kids that were the kind of abnormally shorter kids, and so they had their issues. I had mine. They maybe struck first because maybe they thought I was going to make fun of them for being short or something. But I mean, kids are kids, and in a way, looking back, I felt tormented. But looking back now, I'm like, if they hadn't laid the groundwork, maybe I probably never would have changed at all. So it was tough at the time, and I came home and I already had issues that I had freckles and big ears, and all kinds of stuff. So I already had enough to cry about. I didn't need to cry about their stuff either. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, I think we're in a better place now, but I think we're starting to crawl into a too better of a position where I don't think people feel the urgency to take care of their health by addressing their weight as much, because now it's more like celebrating. I am who I am, and I should, love me for, and yes, you are who you are, but you're not defined by your weight. If you really true self-love, if you say, I love myself, and I'm speaking genuinely, then you would want to take care of yourself the best possible way.
It's a great point.
Or at least better. But I think in the process, in the meantime, until you get to that goal weight, you should love yourself every step of the way and love the fact that you're doing something and trying. And, I like working with people with that when they come in and using that in-body scale and sitting down with them. And in a way, I'm grateful that I have this new store and it's still slow, because now I can kind of get back to my roots with this when I first got started. And I have the time to talk with people. And I've got a couple young kids that are coming in there. One kid, really young kid, I think he just rolled over into 20, but over 400 pounds when he came in, and he's only 5'4". I mean, and he's got a big heart. He's a terrific kid. Really polite, really just friendly, outgoing, great mindset. I wish I had his mindset when I was 20.
Wow.
Amazing kid. And, he's doing great. He's so far in the past, I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks, he's come down. I mean, he's having big jumps of weight loss now because it's early. So he's losing a lot of water weight and stuff, but he's come down to, we just weighed him in, yesterday when I met him. Yeah. He's down to 358.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like he had a 10-pound drop in the past 2 weeks. And I mean, we went nuts. We celebrated on that. Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I like doing that. I mean, that's my background. I have 10 years background working in dual diagnosis facility treatments, doing mental health counseling and case management and stuff. So I mean, I do like working with people like that. I got really burned out in that industry because of stuff in the industry itself. But and that sort of kept me a little bit from really working in. But it's been good that I've been able to sort of get my life a little bit more right and get back to some of the things that I enjoy doing. And that's one thing, is just working with people, helping them. I know what it feels like to go down a belt size or down a pant size, and how good that feels. Like, because you never thought it was going to happen. You thought you were just going to have to go bigger and bigger and bigger. So like, I remember that, and I can empathize with them a bit on that, on how you want it off now. You want to get it. I want to be skinny now. And I hate that word skinny. Like that's like a awful word to me, because skinny to me means underweight. And lean is a word I'm comfortable with. And I try to I want people to have a healthy body image. I don't want them to have, these extreme views. And I'll tell people honestly, they're like, well, I want to put on more muscle. Like, how can I, the most uncomfortable question I get asked all the time, how do I look like you? And I'm like, I don't know. Spend 20 years drinking brown liquor and chain smoking cigarettes and not caring about yourself, and then do a Hail Mary pass because you don't want a heart attack at 40. That's how you get like me. Because a lot of times, to me, I'm still, to this day, I still like occasionally here and there will like avoid looking at a mirror like when I pass it, because I'm sure I'm going to see that same kid with. And I'm talking a sight. Ponytail and like 420 pounds and just not a good look. Very 90s, very fat 90s. It was awesome. It was impressive. But I try to, use that and work with them. And like just a kid like yesterday, man, just seeing him like get so excited about like that drop, man, that was like, what, as cheesy as it sounds, that makes it worth it.
That's not cheesy. That's real life.
Like that makes my day. at the end of the day,
that's your purpose.
At the end of the day, I know what I do. One of my favorite jokes is like, if somebody says like, "Y'all, do you think we'll be able to get a reservation, or do you think we'll be able to get in there?" My favorite joke is saying like, "Are you kidding me? I sell protein. They know to let me in." And it's just like a joke because I know I'm not curing cancer. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
But the few times that I can actually get involved and help the community, we've been able to donate a lot of stuff to some of the recovery houses in Baltimore County. Good friend of the shop was very active in halfway houses. He had some halfway houses and some treatment centers and a website called Hope Dealer and stuff where he can help people find a bed in treatment facilities. Real good guy, just passed away recently, very young. It's unfortunate. Just opened a new gym too. But we would donate a bunch of stuff to him throughout COVID. So the rehabs had stuff, and we donated. I think we donated stuff like we took some stuff to some of the animal shelters, and we drastically discounted all our health and immunity and wellness products during COVID. Some to stay in business. Yeah, I mean, I do got to keep the lights on. But it was like, okay, this is finally a time where I can at least somewhat pitch in and help. So we just put out there like, look, as long as this COVID stuff's going on, all wellness products are 25% off, and we just to encourage people to do it. And we made sure people knew about the stuff that they were recommending, elderberry and zinc and copper chelate and all this stuff. We would make sure we posted the descriptions of these things so people knew what they were putting in their bodies. And I didn't cure COVID, but I mean, at least for once it was a way that I felt like I could at least do a little something with what I do. And it was just little moments like that make it cool that I can get involved.
Jane, let me ask you a question. Like, because people be like, supplements, them shits don't work. What your opinion on supplements? Is it needed?
Is it needed?
Or is it? I know it's a necessity.
Mm-hmm. I'm the first person to say that there's nothing in my entire store that you absolutely need to accomplish your goal. What I sell are supplements, and in the true sense of the word, they are meant to supplement gaps in a diet. And by diet I mean just your general way of eating. Filling in the gaps because nobody can do 100% perfect diet. Either we just don't have access to certain things, resources, availability, price, whatever it may be. We can't have access to everything that we 100% need. So will they help? Yes. Are they necessary? No. Nothing's necessary, but definitely supplements. But can they help? Absolutely.
They help you along your journey.
Mm-hmm. They can, right. And they either can enhance output or by opening your blood vessels, more blood and more nutrients are getting to the muscles, so they can go longer and without fatiguing. You're supplying more fuel to them, or they can curb your appetite and make it easier to eat smaller portions and eat more in control. And now, yeah, there's some out there that are garbage, that are just all fad, and there's no science behind them because it's not a regulated industry. The FDA approves of every individual ingredient that goes in a supplement, but they don't approve any of the supplements as a whole. So other companies use that as scare tactics. They're like, well, that company's products aren't FDA approved. And it's like, well, neither are yours, man. Like, neither are Flintstone vitamins, but you still give your kids a Dino and send them off to school. Right. So depends on the brand. And I like to think the brands we stick with are brands that have a lot of science behind them. It's not a lot of these companies are owned by retired bodybuilders or former personal trainers that have trust funds, and they don't know what they're doing. They just want to be the head of a company, and they get a manufacturer to make their products, and they just say, make me a fat burner, or make me a pre-workout, and the lab just does whatever they want with it, and they bring it back over for flavor testing or see if you feel the caffeine enough, and then they go, great, print it. A lot of the companies I use they're creating the formulas themselves and taking the formulas to the labs and saying, this is what I want you to make for me. not make me something and I'll taste what you think I should make. They're putting their names on the line by saying, I make the formula. One of my companies, I love it. They don't make a ton of stuff, but what they make really well. They're the ones that make the fat burner I was telling you about before we went on the air that you're going to sweat on it. But
my man.
Yeah,
it's all quality.
You're going to sweat, but it's good. He's a biochemist. So he takes the formulas to the lab and says, this is what I want. And then every couple of weeks he reviews it. And if it's not up to what is the latest report on effective dosing or effective additional ingredients or blends, pulls it right off the shelf. He does a total recall, reformulates and re-releases. Like he's very good about it. And we've got several other companies that do that too. So they're monitoring it. But some of these companies, they're just, it's all fad. You know? Yeah. So you gotta pick and choose. And a lot of those companies, a lot of the big names you hear doesn't necessarily mean they're good.
I agree.
They just have big advertising budgets. And that's what marketing is. Marketing is to make you think you need this product. And there's a major one out that some of their products are good. Some of it's just average. But the way they advertise and who they sign and how much they show up in your Facebook feed, everybody thinks they're great. Really, aside from 3 products, nothing special about them. But some of the brands we have, people have never heard of, but they make the most amazing stuff in the world. And they don't even have the budget to like send samples. Right. But they're cranking out amazing stuff. And
that is true, because like I could go to like a big store, one of those big stores, and I'll buy something and I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I'll go to you, we talk, you spend a little bit of time with me, and then I'll buy something and I'm like, what is going on? This is like crazy. Yeah, I love it.
We ask a lot, not really ask a lot, but we're really fortunate to have the customers trust us as much as they do. And I really pride myself on the fact that my staff is very good. My staff and myself is very good at earning that trust. You know, people ask all the time, they're like, well, what else do I need? And I'm like, nothing. Like, I'd love to sell you everything, obviously, because I'm poor. I need money. I like money. I have some. I'd like more. But I've fallen for it. I've read those articles, 10 things you need in your gym bag, and spent $300, and I needed 2 of them. Right. Yeah, it was a waste. But those people that write those articles typically have their own website too, where they're selling all those products. So, and those articles don't have to be factual at all. They just have a quota they got to meet and they put out, and it's not regulated. So I like the fact that usually maybe the first time customer comes in, it's more of a basic business transaction. But if they come back, they work with us because they don't know these brands. It sort of gets them to come out of their shell and talk to us a little bit, and we get to talk with them and naturally use some things that like I used to use in other careers, like open-ended questions. If I can just get them talking, I can find out more about what they want. Because everyone, otherwise, they're going to come in. I want to be 10 feet tall and bulletproof, or I want to lose 50 pounds tomorrow. And there's some people I have to tell, like, well, I'm sorry, man. First off, I hate to tell you, but we have to start here. That's an unrealistic goal. Like, that's never going to happen. Like, not even with the best drugs, that's never going to happen. It just doesn't work that way. But we can start by recreating their ideas in their head of how to go about this, get them on the right track, and say, look, again, this is not going to do the work for you. What's the best fat burner? Oh, well, I've got this and this and this one. And the first thing I tell them, this does not replace proper diet and exercise. The more you put in, this is to enhance your efforts. And I think if we go into all this, looking at all this stuff, like enhancing our efforts, even the protein, it's enhancing our nutritional efforts. That's a more realistic thing, because if they were guaranteed to work, they would be considered a drug or a nutraceutical, and they would cost 10 times as much and have to be prescription only. So not everything works with everybody's physiology either. What works really well for somebody might not work too well for somebody else. And I've seen that happen all the time too. So there's a little bit of trial and error, but we go by the science and try to stay up on it and make recommendations and I'll go line by line on ingredients with the customers and show them, like, this is for this, and this at this dosage is normally this this level is what usually is standard. This company has gone like over that. They're doing extra, and this company is, really good with this. And I'll explain it. And then ultimately they make their own decision based on the education. But usually after that first or second time they've come in the shop, they're coming back. Like we've built a relationship with them. We've built trust, and that's the most important thing. With trust the money will come with trust. But my main concern is just earning the trust, and I'm always grateful for all the trust that all the customers have in us, that have given us all their trust to say, well, what do you recommend? And that's like the most flattering thing that I can hear is like, what did I want to do what you did, or hey man, I really like that product. Thank you so much. Let's try something else. Like, man, that's what it's about to me. It's just building that relationship up.
That's awesome. And it's paramount, especially for, police officers, because, working the hours that we work, being on the streets and just work all day. Then you got to, have time for family. We don't have enough time for ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's when, that phenomenal body leaving the academy goes away instantly.
Yeah.
So, having that other outlet, and it's paramount that we take time to take care of ourselves and do the little things necessary.
Absolutely.
So we can live after retirement.
Right.
So you can live on the job too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The better you perform, the better you can do your job, the safer you can be, and the safer the streets are. So yeah, absolutely. It's definitely for that. And I'm also very lucky that we have a very strong customer base of police officers in all of our stores. We offer all first responders, police, military, fire. We do 15% off store-wide every day for them. Just a way to give back. My family, I come from a military-based family. So, anybody who's willing to suit up and put their life on the line to keep me and my loved ones safe, I want to do what I can to help them out. That's awesome. I respect that. I think, that's such a selfless act and to be out there and be willing to take a bullet for somebody you don't even know, like that is definition of like,
it's poetic
superhero to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that not many people will do that.
Absolutely.
Like if I'm a fireman, well, sorry, I will never be a fireman, but I'm just shout out to them. Now, if I'm a cop, right, and my cousin's a fireman, are they different supplements? Like for the job, he's carrying, he's getting cats out of the tree. We're out here chasing criminals.
Right. He's getting fuzzy out there.
You know what I'm saying? He's cracking elevators open because people are stuck.
Yeah.
Do you recommend stuff based on their profession?
I base stuff on everybody as an individual person anyway. Like I'm going to look at everything
because everybody's body type is different.
Exactly. And everybody's, good bodies are going through different stimulus all day. So, but yeah, that occupation is something I do take into consideration because if you're got a very physical job, we need to address that. You may need something like glutamine to help recover better, or maybe some electrolytes or something for energy, because the work day's there whether you want to be there or not. So and then somebody who's more sedentary, we may need something that is going to maybe counteract that or help make them feel a little bit fuller from their meals so they aren't snacking so much and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I do take career into consideration, and there are definitely some things that would cater to one career, just like, you would recommend different things for someone who is more of like a calisthenic and cardio based exerciser versus a power lifter or say a CrossFitter or something. They're all going to need different things, a little bit different, but for the most part, the basics never go out of style. You need protein, need some carbs for energy, you need your vitamins and nutrients, but then little specializations would come into play. Sure.
That's awesome.
That is super dope.
What's the best clean carb?
Best clean carb. Talking food wise or supplement wise?
Give me one food, one supplement.
I still think, I gotta go back to my old homie, my shout out to sweet potato fries. I mean, not necessarily deep fried, but the sweet potato. I love the sweet potato. Bake it in the oven. That thing is savory, sweet, that is dessert, that's with my meal, whatever. Like I'm such a sweet potato junkie, but quinoa is probably one of my favorite carbs. I do like quinoa. It's a high fiber, low glycemic index carb. So it's not really going to give you that big insulin spike and everything and, be one of the bad carbs, the high sugar carbs. But the good thing about quinoa is not only is it a high fiber carb, it's what's known as a complete protein. Like certain peanut butter says it has protein in it, but it's missing some key factors to make it usable. Quinoa doesn't. It has everything it needs. So you're actually getting extra usable protein with your carbs. So what cooler carb is that than the one that has protein in it? Like
that's a fact.
That's awesome. It's like, what's the coolest car? Well, anyone we can mount a laser on the roof of it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Can I do quinoa and sweet potato fries?
Yeah, of course.
For real?
Sure.
Isn't that like too much carbs?
Yeah, it depends on portion size.
True.
But where there's a will, there's a way, my man. I can find a way to work sweet potato fries into any meal. And any social event, any family function. I can work sweet potato fries.
And this is why people need to come see you, because it's not like, you're not like, oh, you got to drink water and like 3 pieces of lettuce and that's it. You're letting people get, fit.
I mean, you still got to drink water.
But like the lettuce part, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like just lettuce and like, I don't know, a cottage cheese.
A dill pickle.
Yeah.
How about that?
And, lick some salt.
Watch your mouth, son.
Yeah. I mean, but there's, yeah, I try to be real. Like I try to be me. I try to put it in the words that are going to be the easiest to understand. I did horribly in chemistry in high school and college. I slept through high school chemistry. My teacher knew I didn't understand it, and he just let me sleep. And he woke everybody else up. But Me too.
I failed it.
Yeah, 2 periods in a row. It was great. But
couldn't fuck with chemistry.
He passed me somehow. I don't know.
Teacher was an asshole though.
Mine was cool. He worked on like nuclear submarines.
He didn't care.
And stuff. Like this guy was cool.
I was pretty good with the periodic table though.
I was good in lab.
That's about
Give
it.
me a Bunsen burner, man. I was good. I'm like, yeah, it's lab day. And
or a
like,
nice little triple beam balance, man.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
But college, I went to University of Delaware, and their science department is no joke. They get all their funding from Gore and DuPont and all these big companies. So their science curriculum is insane, and I'm already bad at it. But so I can't explain it in like too much like actual chemical terms. I mean, the pronunciation trips me up, and I get tongue tied just trying to speak, normal English. I can't, Latin chemical words now. I'm blank, but I can translate it, and I can put it in the words I put it in my brain to make me understand it. And then I just go, well, why am I then going to try to repackage it up and look all pretty and professional when I'm not pretty and professional? So why should my wording be? So I'll just be like, all right, look, man, it kind of works like a key. I use like a lot of analogies, like building a house. Okay, well, if you're going to build an extension onto your house, you need materials, you need a crew, and you need an architect. So that equates to your diet, your nutrients, your workout, and your overall calories. Like, and then they seem to understand it. I seem to be able to convey it better. And, there's
nothing wrong with dumbing it down.
Yeah, I don't want to speak over anybody's heads.
Absolutely.
Nor do I want to talk down to anybody. Like I'm coming from some position of authority, because at the end of the day, I don't have my degree in nutrition. Almost do. I've got some certifications, but I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I'm in no position to look down. I'm going to go, hey man, I was there too, and this is what I did.
Well, the richest people in the world don't have degrees anyway.
No. I could have. I think college is a great experience. I had a pretty decent time with it, but if I could go back and do it over again, I probably wouldn't go. I mean, it was beneficial for some life skills, but I've only used one of my degrees, and I was miserable in that field. So
it teaches you how to work for somebody else any damn way.
Yeah, it teaches you how to. I mean, there's like, especially if you go away to a college where you're staying in a dorm. I mean, you do learn time management, priorities, and stuff like that, which I think is really important. We were just talking about that the other night. But now, I mean, like, do you need? When I was coming up in starting college in '95, it was still very much in that era of just get a degree in something. It doesn't matter. Like just
get a degree.
You have the paper.
Right.
The doors are opening left and right. No, they're not. Like,
don't work like that.
No, the bill collector's doors are
How
open
about
saying,
that?
come on in. But
Right.
no, I mean, it didn't do me any good. And again, of course I had tattoos on my face and neck and going, why isn't anybody hiring me? I have a degree. And it's like, I look like a criminal.
So you was tatted up back then?
Yeah, I think I started when I was about 19, 20. But yeah, I went a little overboard, had them all over my face and neck and hands. And yeah, I looked straight out of San Quentin for a long time and got a bunch removed. Obviously still kept it.
How's that process when it gets removed? Is it hurt?
It's not fun.
Really?
No, it's really not, man. It's a laser, especially like zapping for me in my case, like down the side of my face and my throat and underneath my chin. And she's like gouging me with needles full of numbing stuff that have adrenaline in it. So I'm like numb, but my heart rate's going through the roof. And then there's like, all right, this is going to hurt. And I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. And then just start zapping away. But if they use numbing stuff, it's not bad. But
really?
I did do some removal on my knuckles at a little back alley type place. And they used outdated equipment and no numbing. And that had to be one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life. Yeah. And that was just on my fingers. But oh my God, it was awful. No,
Damn.
No, never again.
That's
Never again.
crazy.
I'll pay for a plastic surgeon if I need to get any more done to use lidocaine and epinephrine and all that good stuff. But yeah, no more. None of these Groupon tattoo removals like I did the first time. I kid you not. It was a Groupon deal for tattoo removal that I got for 8 sessions for $200. And
did you do all 8 sessions?
Yeah, but they would they had a whole little scam going. They were like they would only like treat part of it and then be like, okay, that's one session. We treated the black part today. That's one session. When a good place, they can adjust the laser and they can treat all colors so they can hit the whole area. This she does like half my fingers and she's like, all right, that's one. What happened? Nothing happened, but yeah, but it was, I mean, hey, you get what you pay for, and $200 for 8 sessions on Groupon. Yeah, you don't get much for that, but live and learn.
Wow.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I wouldn't with tattoo removal for $200. Fuck no. But to each his own.
I just didn't know it hurt because, like, the needle touches you.
Mhm.
The laser is like, it's not really touching you. So what is it, like light, right?
It's light, and it's weird because if it passes over a part of your skin where you don't have any ink in there, it's just a light that flashes on your skin. You don't feel anything. But man, the minute that hits an ink area,
It's over.
you hear a snap, and it's kind of like getting someone pull back a really thick rubber band and just zapped you like with it. Oh man, and it's like it kind of burns and it kind of like cuts you a little bit, sort of like, I mean, it's sort of just like your skin is just instantly like open and scabbing like right away.
So there's a recovery to that?
Yeah, 6 weeks, I think, usually between sessions you have to wait. Yeah.
6 weeks?
To let the skin heal up and not be traumatized.
Supposed to get a tattoo.
Yeah. And it's about $300 a sitting usually for a good place. So had I known that, I would have run from the $200 for 8 session deal when that should have been about.
I mean, but you don't know. You think they're going to take care of you,
Yeah, I didn't know.
Are you going to get more tattoos?
I don't really have a whole lot of room left, but I'll still squeeze a couple in. I got a couple in mind that I want to finish up and
That's dope.
work on a couple.
Awesome. Wow. So much knowledge, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, you got to come back.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Wealth of knowledge.
I would love to come back anytime.
So, James, any shout outs, bro?
Well, I mean, I'll shamelessly plug my own stuff. We've got Total Athlete Nutrition Center. We just opened our 4th location. We're coming up on our big 1-year anniversary for that. 5601 Eastern Avenue, right across the street from Bayview Hospital. We are right in there. There's all kinds of good stuff opened already and still coming in there. We still have our Pasadena location that's actually getting ready to celebrate, I believe it's 7th or 8th anniversary. Our Rosedale location is still open. They're I think hitting right around the 5-year mark, and our Columbia store is still doing really well out there in the Chiseled Life Apparel gym. They're coming up on their 5th anniversary as well.
Where else you want to open up?
Me personally, nowhere else. I'm.
You're good.
That's for the young bucks to take care of, because
Gotcha.
I'm in a little a little over my head at times, but I'm learning to tread water. But I always am open to anybody that likes what we do with there to open up a franchise, sort of a franchise location of ours. That's what our Columbia and Rosedale stores are. I don't know. I don't own them direct. So they do their own thing with a little, not really much guidance, because I don't need to. They know what they're doing and they're fine. They're not going to bring down the brand. But I personally, I'm done with venturing outwards on myself. I've owned 3 of them so far, and I'm looking to kind of start to begin stepping back and kind of making sort of a general descent into retirement at some point by late 50s maybe. So nice. I'm in a 10-year lease now with this new store. So I think by the time that's up, that's when I'm going to start just cruising on into retirement, maybe sell the stores, but keep corporate ownership or something, just to keep a little money coming in, because who knows what Social Security is going to do. But you know, I need to have a life too.
Absolutely.
I've definitely put my time in with this place, and I love it. I love the opportunity that I had to buy this business. It was a business I really enjoyed shopping in. They had the stuff that only we could find on the internet. So it was this cool little spot to me. So it was always something that I thought was a really cool shop and a really cool products, and cool. Even the staff I thought was cool and stuff. But I've definitely, I've thrown myself a little too into it, trying to, maybe because I got into it late, trying to make up for that faster. But at the expense of hurting some, maybe some social aspects of my life. And I've definitely had it cost me a pretty significant relationship at the time and stuff. So I don't want to continue with that. I need more in my life than just that. But I love my time that I am there. I'm there and I love it. Enjoy working with the customers, and I love seeing them come back, and I love hearing their reviews. And I'm looking forward, as I'm getting older now, to reflecting on those moments as I have more time away, to be on a beach somewhere or on a plane flying to a new destination somewhere. But I want to, but hey, it's been a labor of love, but it's definitely, the labor aspect has definitely been there, but I love it. I mean, I can't really see myself doing anything else.
That's
beautiful.
I love it. That's
Total Athlete Nutrition Center, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be there tomorrow.
Go see them.
Yeah, come on in. Check us out on Facebook. Each store has its own Facebook page. So Total Athlete Nutrition Baltimore, Pasadena, Rosedale, and Columbia. We're on Instagram at Total Athlete Nutrition. That's probably the best place to follow us on, because then that's all 4 of the stores collaborating, putting together their ads, and it's just the easiest one. We find we reach the most people through Instagram over Facebook. Facebook, we reach people, but we get likes. That's it. Gotcha. We don't get responses. But definitely Instagram, Total Athlete Nutrition. Come check us out.
That's awesome. First responders, healthcare workers, everybody.
Police, military, fire, 15% off every day. We have a VIP program where if you're not first responder, you can still save 10% on pretty much the whole store every day. You can get points towards cash back. We've got shirts, we've got meal prep bags, we've got hats, we've got pretty much everything I need. I may not have the brand of the product you're looking for, but my motto is, I guarantee you I've got the same product from a different company for cheaper or better for the same price.
I love it.
Perfect. Thank you for coming out, bro.
Nah, man, the pleasure's been all mine. Thank you guys for having me on. This has been really cool.
Amazing.
I'm never done anything like this before, so I'm kind of like geeking out a little bit here.
I'm glad.
This has been fun, man.
Awesome, brother.
Good time. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Dre.
Peace and love.
Triple C.
Peace and love.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
My peoples, episode 92. We appreciate you. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week. Easy.
views and opinions expressed on the Silverback podcast are those of the hosts, producers, and or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the federal, state, or local government. This includes, but not exclusive to, the Department of Defense and or the Baltimore City Police Department.